This is Breachway. The best way to describe this game is probably FTL meets Slay the Spire. It's a deck-building roguelike where you're managing a spaceship and all of its systems and its crew, and you're trying to take it on a node graph-based journey through the galaxy to accomplish something before all of the hostiles in the world manage to take you down. This is the perfect time for me to make a video about it because I just lost my first run. It wasn't technically my first run because I also played the demo of this game and I made a video of it, so if you want to go check that out, go ahead. But it was pretty cool actually, because even though, you know, I was losing, as I was losing, I was recognizing places where I had made mistakes and where my strategy, you know, hadn't quite worked, or rather where I hadn't noticed opportunities where I could have done a better job and gotten one over on the enemy. And that's really good because, you know, when you lose a game like this, you shouldn't just feel like you were overwhelmed by random chance. You should feel like I could have done better, because that makes you want to start again. So let's start a new run, this time without the prologue. So we should be jumping right into the main ship. And actually, I'm curious. So the Arbalest is the default ship, and I believe this is the one that we also played in the demo. But I think... Yes, okay, so I have unlocked a second ship now that I've gotten a little bit further in the campaign. So normally my strategy in deck-building roguelikes is to try to win with the initial default character before I, you know, move on to, like, other classes. But this time, I think I'm going to jump into a new one, mostly just because if you watched the previous video, you've already seen me play with the other ship, so we should do something new. So the Marauder, let's see what's the difference between the Marauder and the Arbalest. So the Arbalest had a pulse laser, which means that it's got these laser beams that can sort of augment and build on each other as you fire them. It also had a barrier shield and a resource bay. This one, it starts with light flak. Okay, so flak, that's a different kind of weapon that's about sort of like building up this shred status effect on your enemy, which makes them more vulnerable to future damage from the same weapons. And it's got a basic shield, so it's a much cheaper shield than the barrier shield, but it probably has some drawbacks, and a different resource bay that's about piling on sort of the weapon fuel. I'm not sure what this is. It's blinking at me like I can pick something. Oh, so are these just augmentations to my campaign? Like I can start out with extra money, or... Interesting. Okay, I haven't seen this before. So yeah, I'm going to pick the one that I've unlocked, savings, which means I'll just start with some extra money. And, oh, and Relentless. This gives me a 20% chance to return an attack card from cooldown to my hand. That's, you know, whatever, deck builder stuff. I think this is good. Just to give you a quick rundown of my ship. Maybe I should move over here so you can see the ship UI. So this is my reactor. It gives me 3 resources which I can spend on different kinds of cards. Right now it's assuming that what I want is a lot of mass and a lot of ordnance and very little energy. And that makes sense because while the lasers of the other ship mostly relied on ordnance and energy, this one relies on ordnance and mass. It's not firing beams, it's firing stuff. Because it's relying less on energy, that means that the shield has to be cheaper. So there's a method to this particular relationship, you know, between this particular set of systems. They're trying to use their resources in ways that sort of line up with each other. One thing I hadn't noticed was as I switch ships, my relationships with the factions in the game are changing. So this is how I played originally. The deadweights were kind of neutral-ish enemies. Free roamers were my allies, and the Starkin and Solari, the Starkins were more neutral. The Solari were second place, were my main enemies. But if I switch to the Marauder, the Starkin and the Solari are both equally enemies, and the deadweights are actually my friends, and the free roamers are neutral. That's interesting. I was actually killing a lot of deadweights in my last campaign, but this time around, they're going to be my buds. So... Oh, this whole thing is interesting, so let's get in there and see how it plays out. So we've got our node graph here showing us our route through the galaxy, and... Oh, wait, we've got a different crew. Captain, the coordinates we got from our free roamer informant are leading straight through this sector. Straight through a blockade, according to my sensor readings. Why do they always have to make things difficult? We best avoid any Solari Starkin stations after we clear the blockade. They might hate each other, but they hate pirates more. We're pirates. Okay, they're framing us as pirates. That's interesting. Cap, I have an old friend in this sector. He owes me some favors. It might be wise to pay him a visit. I'll mark the location of his usual stomping grounds. Okay, so let me look at our ship again, because one thing I didn't look at, I was looking at the systems in the game. I wasn't looking at the crew. So the crew give you special abilities that you can use in combat, and they consume a different resource from everything else. While the resources the ship consumes are produced by the reactor on the fly, and they're constantly replenishing, the crew resources are based on morale, and they're replenished over a longer period of time. So ideally, you want to avoid using them at all, because when you use them, they take a really long time to recharge. So this guy's got combat training, which I've seen before. Oh, but no, it's different. Kinetic attacks, flak and railgun deal more damage this turn. Okay, cool. And she's got double time, which means this turn I draw a card every time I play a card. Oh, that's cool. So if for instance, if I don't have enough offensive cards, I could turn this on, play what cards I have, and then I'll maybe get some. That's cool. And then cheap shot. Your next attack this turn costs less ordnance. Okay, it's different from the other crew, but that's great. All right, so the first stage is always this blockade. So we'll head in here. Busy with trying to prevent civilians from fleeing the system, only a security drone has noticed our approach. It's headed our way on an intercept course. Prepare for combat. Okay, so now I have to figure out where my head belongs on the screen. Where will I be blocking the least information? It might actually be the upper left, even though this was an inconvenient place for my head to be when we were looking at my ship. I think this might actually be where I belong in combat. So, okay, so here's the setup. Your enemy has got cards that they have played, and these cards actually don't actually play until these, I can't gesture at them because I'm highlighting the card, but you see the little pips at the bottom of the card? As those pips fill up, like basically once they're full, the next turn that card is going to be played. So I can do stuff to try to anticipate and respond to what the enemy is going to do. So down here, I've got the cards that I have drawn. And the number of cards you can draw depends on the number of crew that you have, and what cards you have depends on what the equipment you've got slotted. And then over here, I've got my resources that I spend. And then over here, I've got my hull integrity, my heat. We'll get into that a little bit. So what are my options here? They're not going to attack me next turn, so I can kind of do whatever I want. And actually, I don't want to use my shield because it'll be wasted. Shield decays each time your turn ends. And so if I use it now, it'll just decay and not do any good for me. So what I want to do is attack. Now I've got Ordnance Surge. What is this? Oh, I can get 1 heat. And heat, basically, if you get too much heat, you start taking hull damage. I can gain some heat to get a big burst of ordnance. However, I guess that kind of makes sense, because right now I've got 5 ordnance, and I've got 6 ordnance worth of attacks. This twin barrel attack does 2 to 5 damage and shreds 5. And this does 2 to 5 damage and shreds 5. And so shredding, basically, all damage required to apply 1 shred. Every stack increases incoming minimum flak damage on 1. So basically, if I do one of these first, the next one will do more damage. So doing 2 of them in the same turn is a good move. So yeah, I think I will do an Ordnance Surge. So that gives me a bunch of ordnance, but it also costs me some heat. And now I can fire both of these. So let's fire the lighter one first. Okay, so I did some damage. It didn't apply any shredding. And actually, that means I don't understand the mechanic, because I kind of expected it to. So fire again. Okay, so that one also didn't apply shredding. Why? Then one of the other advantages of that other card was that it gave me yet another card to play, and I can because of my Ordnance Surge. Okay, so we're doing a bunch of damage. I'm not seeing the shred thing happen. Huh. Well, let's see how it goes. Okay, so he didn't do anything that turn because he's still charging his cards. So now next turn, though, he's going to do a beam sweep, which does 6 damage. I have 2 shield pulses available, each of which costs 1 energy. And that's what's going to take to completely blop? To completely block him. So I'm going to use both.
Shielding enhanced.
So that builds up my shield to 8 points. And then I'm going to do opening shot. Okay, so that applied shred. So I think I must have I must have misinterpreted the other cards. I'm going to have to take another look at those other cards and see if I can understand how shredding works, because that one did it. So whatever that card said, it did the thing it was supposed to do. So let's end my turn. So now he attacks, but it doesn't get through my shield. My shield went down to 2, and then at the end of my turn it went down to 1, because basically every time your turn ends, your shield halves, rounding down. At least it rounds down when it's 1, and it halves to half a shield. It just goes down to 0. And so because it halves every turn, you really can't expect to sustain a shield. You have to use your shield opportunistically to stop incoming attacks. Okay, so he's not going to attack with his infrared pulse for a little bit. So this one, let's see here. This one has ignite, which means that it's going to try to overheat me. So if I've already got some heat, this thing's going to do extra damage to me. So I got to be careful with that. I've got 2 light barrages. However, I've only got the ordnance to fire one of them. So this means, because I've got a level of shred, every stack of... yeah, so this says shredding 5, and I'm just not sure what it means by shredding 5, because it wasn't applying shred when I used it. And so maybe it just means it's taking advantage of shred? I'm really not sure what's going on there, but we'll end my turn. Note, by the way, you keep your resources from one turn to the next. There's a lot of deck building... in fact... there's a lot of deck building games where you basically hose your resources at the end of every turn. But this one works a little bit differently. Actually, note that I only got 1 card back. That's for a reason. My cards have cooldowns. So if you look at my cooldown pile here, some of these cards, they're not going to be available to go back into my hand until they've completed their cooldown. So this twin barrel, opening shot, and light barrage, I'm going to get all of those back next turn, but I don't get to have them this turn. And similarly, have a look at this. I've got so much mass right now, I don't need any of this. And so what I could do is right-click this to make it go down and then raise my my other stuff. But if I do that, moving your energy around from your reactor costs heat. That will increase my heat, which means that this will do more damage to me. I already don't have any shields, and I don't think any of my crew adds shields. So basically, no matter what, I'm taking damage from this. But I'll take more damage if I move my energy around. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, actually, you know what? Because I'm about to get a bunch of offensive weapons back, I think I'm going to hold on to Light Barrage and hold on to my Ordnance and just try to use it all at once. So I'm going to end my turn right now. Take 3 damage and 1 heat. And now, okay, now they're going to raise their shields and fire at me 2 turns from now. So I've got some time here. Okay, so we've got opening shot. So this says that it should apply, if I do hull damage, this should apply 1 shred, which then will make my other stuff more powerful. However, it only does 2 to 4 damage, and they've got 3 shield. So there's only like a 1 in 3 chance this thing does hull damage unless I hit it with something else first. So what I need to do is, I think I need to start with a light barrage. And actually, let's use my cheap shot. I want to use as much of this stuff as I can in 1 turn. So let's use cheap shot, which means this light barrage is free.
Enemy shields down.
That takes their shields down. Now my opening shot will do hull damage, which means we get shred level. And then I can only fire 1 of these. But you'll notice instead of doing like 2 to 6 damage, it's 3 to 6 damage because of the shred. And I'm just really not sure what shredding 5 means. What does that 5 do? I've got no idea. Okay, well, I'm going to use this. Oh, I almost took them down. Luckily, they can't do anything to me this next turn, so I do have them. And there they go. All right, so I get my rewards. I get some credits. I get to add a card. Okay, so let's look at our cards here. So this is Flak Barrage. It's just a bigger version of Light Barrage, but it costs some mass. Well, I had a lot of extra mass, so that feels pretty good. I like that. We could also... Okay, we can get a fancier shield, which costs way more energy and some mass. And we've got one that takes a lot of energy, but it's a big old shield. Oh, but the entire shield will go away really, really fast. So, that's interesting. You know, I think I'm going to go with the flak barrage, just because I like being a glass cannon. Okay. So now, I think we got through the blockade. After we breach the blockade, multiple ships try to make a run and exit the system. As we mix in with the group of civilian vessels, the Stark and gunships break off pursuit and focus on keeping the fleeing ships in. Incoming message request, Captain. It's impossible to isolate the source with so many ships grouped together. Greetings, Captain. Impressive skills you've shown there. I could use the service of a bold freelancer such as yourself. I'm a data broker by trade, willing to offer a generous reward in exchange for some valuable intel. I need to gather data on the most powerful gunships in this sector. All you need to do is send your combat logs to the specified coordinates after fighting 2 elite ships, and I'll transfer 150 credits on delivery. Oh, and Captain, pick a weapon from my reserves while you're at it. You'll need all the firepower you can get. Consider it an investment in your future. Okay, so I could take another flak weapon, or I could take an ion cannon. That's interesting, because, okay, so flak, if I take another flak weapon, that means that I'm going to get, you know, basically, I think I might get another card slot. Do I get another card slot, or do I need a new crew for that? I don't remember now. But I get another card, maybe get another card slot, and I definitely get some fancy-looking flak cards, and they line up with my existing strategy. And so there's some nice synergy there. But if I get the ion cannon, the thing that ion cannons do is they slow down enemy cooldowns, or enemies sort of like the charge up, the filling the pips on their cards. They eliminate progress on those pips, so the enemy can be stopped. It can be like prevented from shooting at you. But it also costs a completely different set of, like, not completely different, but like it's a different combination of resources. So I feel like this time around, I don't know. Well, because I'm making this video, you know what? I actually I want to show a variety of different strategies that you can use. And so let's grab the ion cannon. I think if I was playing on my own, though, I would probably double down with the quad flak. But let's go ion cannon. So yeah, a few moments later, a transport container emerges from somewhere in the group of ships heading for your location. You pry it open to the cargo bay after a security scan and pick up its contents. Have your crew install the weapon and proceed. Okay, so if I open up, yeah, my ion cannon is now installed, and we're going to see if that gave me another card slot. I'm really not sure. All right, so let's look around here. So where do we want to go? That guy wanted me to... Oh, pirate activity is allied with me, which is great. So all these red dots that I was chasing as like enemies before, they're now friends. There's an elite combat here and an elite combat here. Okay, so one thing to understand about the map. The blue lines, you can only progress towards the exit on. But the brown lines, you can go any direction you want to. However, the brown lines cost fuel. And it's hidden behind my head, but I've only got 4 fuel. So I have to be very careful with how I use that. So one thing I could do is, if I want to do 2 elite combats, I go hit this elite combat, and then I could jump across, and there's a space station over there. I could jump across here, and then hit the second elite combat. And then one of my friends said that they were going to tell me about somebody's stomping grounds, and I'm not actually sure. Maybe it was this one. Heading in this direction seems like a good idea. So, yeah, I think with 4 fuel, I can cross this gap. I want to see what running into friendly pirates is going to be. So cross this gap, come over here, and then I can pop into here if I want to. All right, that'll be my strategy. So that means I need to go this way. Hail there, brother. We're planning to plunder a Solari transport ship, but we can't take its escort on our own. You know the drill. Help us with taking care of one of their escort ships, and you get a share of the spoils. That sounds amazing. Absolutely. I love this. Like, the encounters are now framed like I'm a pirate and I should do pirate things. That is not how it was when I was playing on the Arbalest. Okay, so this guy, what's he doing? He's got a charged barrier shield, so it's a fairly powerful shield. Oh, that lasts a while. So this shield won't decay on the first turn. And then opening shot, So he's going to be trying to shred me with the same tactics that I would be using on him. So I should... but it only works if he does hull damage. So if I put up a shield, which I will, I'm protected from that. And then I can do an opening shot on him and a flak barrage following it up. And actually... ooh, if I do Ordnance Surge, I can hit him with all 3 of these. So let's do that. Ordnance Surge, and then opening shot to shred him.
Shredded enemy hull.
And then shred him again. Did that say... did it say there's 2 levels of shred? And now there's 3 levels of shred. So I am increasing the shred. Oh, I want to understand this mechanic so badly. Okay, so he's doing opening shot, but he didn't get to my hull, which means that, yeah, he didn't shred me, but he's just going to keep trying. Every turn, he's going to keep trying. What is combined arms? Oh, this is from my ion cannon. Okay, so this does 8 ion damage. So ion damage, it affects the shield. It only can damage the shield. It can't damage the hull. But it also, I think every 6 ion damage you do takes away a pip. So I could do a shield pulse to, again, block that opening shot. But if I do combined arms... that could actually give me another opening shot, but that could also remove a pip, which could also prevent this opening shot from happening altogether, which would waste the shield pulse. So I'm going to try combined armed first.
Enemies ionized.
Okay, so yes, it did. So it did the 8 ion damage, which is enough to take out opening shot. So now opening shot is not happening next turn, so I don't need the shield pulse. And also I had the benefit from combined arms of drawing something from my pile, which means I got my opening shot back. So let's end the turn. Okay, so he spent another turn charging because of my ion attack. Now I've got 4 ordnance, which is not a lot. I can basically do one of these things. Flak barrage has the most damage, I think. Yeah, 5 to 7. So I'm going to hit him with this. And then I'm going to do a shield pulse to protect against the opening shot. Okay, so he has brought up his shields now. He's got 6 shields. And, again, I've got way too much mass. So I'm going to swap my mass for ordnance. Though, let's see here. What's the most damage I can do to him in this turn? 5 to 6? Yeah, I'm not going to take him out this turn. But... alright, yeah, so I didn't take him out. I just damaged his shields, but that means his shields are going to be gone next turn instead of only being at half. So I think that was still kind of valuable. And now that I've readjusted my reactor... ooh, I got shredded a little bit. Let's take him out this turn. 4 to 5 damage, 4 to 5 damage. Let's see if we roll the 5. We did not. Well then, let's do this again. And he explodes. Yay, killing innocent civilians. So we got some salvage here, which I can sell later on. Having gained the ship's trust and proven your loyalty, it transmits the coordinates to one of the system's underground deadweight bases, which is here. Okay, I think I'm going to go here instead of here when I get to that point. But let's come over here first. An unregistered ship present in contested Solari space is approaching on an attack vector. Okay, it's a rando. What's going on? Okay, so this one's got lasers, and it's got a weak shield like mine. So, I've got opening shot. Now, the question is, I keep always having to, like, decrease this eventually. So I'm wondering if I should preemptively decrease my mass. But I'm really not using... I don't know. Well, anyway, I can do 2 of these things. It looks like flak barrage is probably my best bet for this turn. So let's opening
enemy
shot
hull.
to shred. And that time it didn't add a stack of shred. Why? How does this work? Okay, whatever. By the way, notice we did just confirm. Originally, I had 4 cards in my hand. Now I have 5. So each time you add a system to your ship, you add not just the cards from that system, but also you get a card slot. Okay. So now he's going to hit me with the beam, doing 6 damage next turn. That will be annoying. And I can defend completely against that because I've got these 2 shield pulses.
Shield
I guess,
up,
you know what?
Captain.
I'll do that. I'll block that completely. I'll hold on to this for next time, and then let's just, yeah, let's shred some stuff. Yeah, didn't gain a stack of shred. How does shred work? I'm just gonna keep asking myself this question. Maybe I should stop doing it out loud. Okay, completely blocked that laser. However, those are my only 2 shield cards, and I'm not sure how long they're gonna be on cooldown. Let's see here. Oh, is nothing in cooldown? Do those cheap shields go right back into my? I think maybe they do. Yeah, I think maybe they don't have a long cooldown. Well, that's good because I'll need them. I just need to make some space here. So okay, they're gonna hit me with an infrared pulse, which is gonna do heat damage to me, and so I want to avoid messing with my stuff over here. Combined arms will do ion damage to them, so that might prevent that attack. I don't have enough shield to block it completely, so I want to at least roll the dice on this. Yes, okay. It's random which one gets reduced, and so I didn't know if that was going to happen or not, but it did. It happened the way I wanted it to. And now I can do an ordnance surge to get enough ordnance to fire, what, a flak barrage? Where they're not shredded anymore. Okay, I did a little bit of damage to them. They're going to raise their shields next turn. So maybe I'll give my attacks a break next turn. Build up some of my ordnance. Okay, yeah, so I don't think I'm going to... I don't want to use my ion spear because I just don't have enough of... Actually, yeah, okay. They're about to hit me with infrared pulse. I can't do anything about it. So I should not mess with my energy right now. I'm going to discard my ion spear because I don't think I'm going to use it anytime soon, and I want to have room for some new shielding to come in. I'm going to let their shield decay rather than just uselessly firing at it. All right. Oh, it looks like some of my cards are on cooldown. I've got 3 cards coming in next turn, but most of them are on cooldown. I'm really curious. What happened to my shields? Are my shield cards exhaustible? Maybe my shield cards are get exhausted. Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't realized that. I'll need to look at those shield cards again, because I expected them to come back when I used them both in one turn. All right. Well, let's... What should we do? We can do 2 of these. So I guess I could... Yeah, I could do 3 of them if I use this crew member's special ability. So let's do that.
Enemy shields down.
Alright, so now my barrages will do more damage. Okay, there was a small chance that I could have actually taken them out this turn, but... Oh, you know what? I could have if I had selected this guy's special ability. This guy increases the damage of my attacks. I could have taken them out this turn if I'd chosen this guy, but I didn't, so that's my fault. This is the kind of thing that I notice when I'm playing this game. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I could have done something and been better. So instead I'm going to take... Oh, wait, no. Beam sweep wasn't happening next turn. Good, I have time to fix this. So let's just nail this guy with one last shot. Okay, take him down. Cool. Made a mistake, but not a lot of consequences. Okay, let's look at shield pulse. Deplete! Yes! It goes away! Okay, so let's get a different shield that does not go away. Okay, so this one does more shield if I've got more shields to draw. That will be not the case in a lot of cases. Here's flash shields. This one puts up a really powerful shield, but then the shield goes away, and it costs 4 energy. This one's only 3 energy. 4 energy is a lot of energy. But this one comes back, and it's not contingent on me having a bunch of other cards to draw. You know what? I'm going to go with this one, but then I think I might... Let's have a look at our engine over here. So we can actually make it more powerful. We can upgrade it by clicking this button. And then we can invest that in energy. So now that we're rocking an ion cannon and we've got a more expensive shield, we want more energy coming in. So I've made that investment so that we can actually use our current strategy. And now I'm still headed towards this. The free roamers are neutral. So let's go over there and hope for the best. The ship's database shows us an abandoned refueling platform in this quadrant. Coordinates have been added to the map. There's no way in hell I'm making it over there. So, I mean, I could. If I really wanted to, I could get this far and then take this route over there. If I had the fuel for it, I'm not going to by the time I get there. So, nice to know, but I'm not doing it. Let's try some elite combat. You come across an advanced combat vessel. Its mission is to enforce Starkin law and secure control of the region. After a brief scan of their database, the gunship identified you as being allied with the pirate factions in the system and is heading towards us. Okay, so this one's going to be a little nastier than the other ones. It's a bigger, fancier ship. Okay, so right now it's got spin up. Every time chain burst is played, reduce the cooldown of chain burst attacks by 1 turn. Okay, so this seems like it's working in concert with a different card. So I'm not going to worry about this yet. Fortify. Okay, so it's a fancy shield. It's a pretty good shield. Oh, and it's going to keep getting stronger as time goes on. That's going to be annoying. And then laser pulse is just a regular old laser attack. Not going to worry about that. So, not attacking me next turn. I've got 2 shield pulses here ready to go, but let's not waste them because we know they're not coming back. I think an opening shot and a flak barrage probably makes sense. And then we could afford twin barrel if we use cheap shot later on. So let's start with opening shot. But we notice, I think their hull level is much higher than I think the previous ships that I've been fighting. Okay, so I just fired my cheap one. Now I guess it doesn't matter what order I do this in. So 4 to 7 damage versus 3 to 6. And this one lets you add another light barrage. But yeah, so I'll fire that. More damage. And then I'm going to engage this. And fire twin barrel. By the way, notice each time I fire at this person, not only is their hull taking damage, but these little shield icons are also taking damage. What that means is I'm doing damage to their systems. Now there's certain like beam weapons can actually target specific systems, and you can take them down and basically disable them for a certain duration during combat. I don't have any of those abilities though, so if I take one of these down, it'll just be sheer luck, probably. Okay, so I'm going to end my turn. And this time, Shred is stacking up. Counts down on turns with no shred applied. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so they're going to fire a laser pulse at me, and now chain burst is coming, which is going to do 9 damage plus ignite 3. Which basically, I think that means up to 3 heat are going to hit my heat sinks. So, okay, don't want that to happen. I'm going to do 1 shield pulse to defend against that laser. And then we should try to blast through this other stuff to make room for me to draw another shield card, because I'm going to need one for that chain burst. Alright, I think that's all I can do this turn that makes any sense. So he fires the laser, which takes down my entire shield, and now he fortifies. He's got 6 shield now. Chain burst is not going to fire. I do have my flash shields, So I need to make sure I've got enough energy for them, and it looks like I will. I can also do an ordnance surge to fire both of my barrages. And if I fire both of them, well, yeah, the shredding has made these do maximum damage now, which is great. If I fire both of those, I can get through the shields and keep doing damage. So I think I shall. Okay. So yeah, their hull isn't doing great. I'm going to save my flash shields, my shield pulse for the next time when they actually attack. Okay. What does she do again? Draw a card every time you play a card. That's right. Okay, so Ion Spear. Oh, so this one, if they have a shield up when I use this, then I can choose a particular weapon of theirs to disable. But, and that the little icon in the upper right corner is what means I can target their specific systems. However, they don't have a shield up. But I think I might be desperate enough to have not both of these happen at the same time that I'm still gonna fire this thing. Okay, so the ion effect hit a random weapon, so the laser pulse isn't happening, but the chain burst still is. And all I can do against that is fire off my flash shields. So we'll do that. And now he puts up his shield. So him putting up his shield this time, that is actually when, that would have been the best time for me to use that ability I just used. By the way, chain burst, note that it's accelerating. It's going to be firing more often now. I need to take this guy down fast. Okay, so this does ion damage. And what else do I want to do? Okay, so this is going to use up a lot of my energy here, but okay, so, and I want to be able to do my shield pulse too, but I can. Okay, so I'm going to do combined arms to take his shield down.
Enemy shields down.
That was not enough to actually affect the cooldowns of his weapons, though. I'm going to put up a shield pulse to block the laser. And then I'll do an opening shot, which did not increase the stacks of shred. I'm very confused by shred. And if I want to hit him again before his shield goes up again, I think I need to use cheap shot. So let's go with twin barrel, which does raise the shred stack. He's getting down to 8. He's getting very close, but he's also going to start doing a lot of damage to me. And he doesn't have to survive this entire trip through this part of the galaxy. I do. So him taking a bunch of hull damage, whatever, he's got nowhere to go after this. I'm worried about my hull damage. So Chain Burst is going to hit me next turn, unless Ion Spear takes it down. I'm trying to think. I don't think I can do enough damage in one turn, even with his special ability, which would add basically 1 to each of these attacks. Well, okay. If I'm very lucky, this guy might make Flak Barrage kill him in one turn. But if I'm not lucky, I might wish that I'd used Ion Spear to prevent this Chain Burst from hitting me. But if I use Ion Spear, I won't do any damage to him this turn. And he'll be around next turn to hit me. Now, if I use Ion Spear, that'll take me into 1, so I'll have 4 ordnance next turn. And that's not enough to change how much I can attack next turn. I could, because I've got a lot of mass, I could do that, which means I'll get more next turn. I think that still won't be enough, though. Okay, yeah, so do I want... Both of these are random. Ion Spear, will it actually stop Chain Burst, or will it hit one of the other ones? It's a 1 in 3 chance. Flak Barrage, augmented by this guy's benefit, will do 7 to 8 damage. So that's probably 50-50. Okay, so this is 50-50 to destroy him. This is 33% chance to delay him. I think I'm going to go with a 50-50. Yes! All right, that is how you play a game of poker. So I'm going to add a new card. So what am I going to add? We got Quiver. If your enemy is shielded, add an ion dart to your hand at the end of each turn. So this is an upgrade. So I spend this once, and then I get ion darts, which deal... Oh, they do shredding. Interesting. So, oh, this is a synergy between the ion cannons and the flak. Oh, wait. Or do they... Wait, that said... I thought that said shredding. Did I misread something? It doesn't say shred... Did I? That's weird. I thought that said shredding. What's wrong with me? Did it say shredding before, or am I crazy? Well, let's see here. So, another... Lose 3 hull to put up shield? No. Blueprint. Draw 2 support cards. All support cards cost less. Optimization. Get ordnance by spending mass. I think Quiver... I think Quiver's the best one. Then ammo allocated. Reduce the next flak attack by 1 every time you deal minimum flak damage. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, let's grab that. Okay, so that is an augmentation to one of my systems. So if I grab... Wait. Oh, can I only... I can't just grab... Oh, yeah, no, it's right here. Okay, so if I grab this and I install it in my flak gun, that means that every time I do minimum flak damage, it reduces the cost of my next flak attack. Which is great. Okay, so now we're at the point where if I want to hit this elite combat, I have to actually cross here, because if I go up here, I'm not going to be able to go backwards down this blue path. So, and this was the pirate hideout that got revealed to me earlier, so I want to see what this is. You approach the coordinates you received for the supposed pirate base. It appears to be located in a logistics hub, the high volume of trade ship activity acting as cover for any illicit transits. Hail there! We've had word sent out that you might be coming around to see us. If you need repairs and resupply, you come to the right place. Approach Gate 4, and I'll let my crew know you're one of ours. Okay, so you can do a lot of things. So crew activities. You can go to the bar, which increases your morale. Your morale is up here. This is how fast your crew abilities recharge. Then you can do ship and equipment maintenance. So basically, I can add and remove cards. I don't want to do that. And I can buy fuel if I want to be able to do more fuel stuff. But I think I've got all my fuel plans taken care of, so I think I'm not going to worry about that. Let's enter the hangar and see what stuff they buy. So we can repair our hull. We can also buy some stuff. Can we, though? Command unit for the resource bay, engineering bay, or hacking console. Add 1 card slot at the start of combat. Does that mean only for the first turn? Or you just always have 1 more card slot? If you always have 1 more card slot, that's pretty cool. Another option I have is to pick up a different weapon. I don't really have... I think I might need to have like an AI core or something to be able to fire another weapon here. I'm not sure, though. Maybe the AI is what provided the open card slot. Maybe I could outmount another weapon, but it wouldn't give me another card slot. So I can add a coil gun. Ooh, a coil gun is very targety. PDC array is against its anti-missile. You know what? Just because we haven't gotten to do any precision fire, I think I want to grab this. And yeah, it doesn't have anyone to use it, so I'm not sure if that means I'm not going to get to use these coil gun attacks, or if it just means that I'm not going to have extra space in my among my card slots. I'm going to hit max repair. Oh, and I can sell these. Get a little bit more credits back. But I think that's everything. So yeah, I'm still learning this game, and I'm not dead certain whether this coil gun is going to be usable. But we will find out if my coil gun card starts showing up. All right, so I think we're done with the station. So we'll come over here. Conflict zone, led by my allies. Hail there, brother! We're planning to plunder a Solari ship. So yeah, I do know the drill. We've done this before. Okay, so this one, it's going to hit me with a flak attack. Okay. Oh! I think I get it. I get it. I know how shredding works. When it says shredding 5, what that means is if I do 5 damage, I apply shred. That's what that means. Okay. And so opening shot, it just applies. So if I do any damage at all, it applies shred. But the other ones, I have to hit 5. So it's going to roll 2 to 5 damage, but only if I get 5 will it apply shred. That's how it works. Okay. I eventually figured it out. Because that lines up with all the past data that we've seen, right? All right, so what are my options here? I can fire both of these attacks. I've got whatever it takes to do that. Quiver, except I can't fire this one if I fire Quiver. But this only is good if my enemy is shielded. And so I guess they'll be shielded next turn, so I can save that for then. They are going to hit me with this unless I flash my shields. This is a lot of shields for a small barrage, though. I don't know if I want to do that. And I don't want to do Ordnance Surge if I'm not going to spend it all, so I'm going to hold on to that, too. So I'm going to hold on to Ordnance Surge and Quiver. Am I going to do Flash Shields? I mean, that'll prevent the shred damage from happening, but it's not a guarantee that there will be shred damage, because this guy's as limited as I am. And I've got a Star Flare coming in that's going to definitely do more damage. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go Opening Shot, which applies Shred. And then when there's Shred, now this is 3 to 5 damage, so now instead of it being 2 to 5, which is like 25% chance of adding a layer of Shred, now I've got a 33% chance. 3, 4, or 5 are my options. So the Shred really does sort of build on itself when it works this way. And I also got another Opening Shot, too, so I could just use this again. Let's just fire this barrage. So I did 4 damage, which means I didn't add any shred. Okay, so now we're just going to go eat this barrage of damage. But chances are it won't apply shred to me. Yeah, it only did 2 damage. Now their shields are up. And I've got more mass. So I'm going to use Quiver. And it will add ion darts, which I can just keep poking it with. So, oh, this isn't... Right, it's an upgrade. So just any turn that they are shielded, if they remain shielded at the end of my turn, I get an ion dart. So take it out next turn. So now this... Okay, covering fire is bigger, but Star Flare is going to hit. So this is a missile. So it's going to fire this missile, but missiles take time. It says in 1 turn. So because missiles take time... This is going to be more damaging than this, more than likely. And so I want to defend against this. If I've only got the 1 shield, I want to defend against this. So I'm thinking... What am I thinking? This is, again, not going to be useful enough. So I'm just going to fire Opening Shot at this guy. Oh, right. Wait, that doesn't do anything. I'm an idiot. Doesn't do anything unless I can get through his shields. And I don't have enough mass. I just used this special ability. I don't even have any mass to fire this thing up. Well, I just messed this turn up completely. Whatever. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, I just ate a fair amount of damage. So now I've got this missile coming in behind me. I do have an Ion Spear. So, he's shielded. And if I break his shield with my Ion Spear, I can disable one of his moves. So I can disable his covering fire. Let's do that just to show how that works. So I'm targeting his specific system here. And because I broke his shields, this system is now disabled. It's going to be out for 2 turns. I still have to worry about the missile. So this one will let me draw another card. Is it worth my flash shield, using my flash shields now, though, instead of combined arms? This is going to definitely do a full 6 damage to me. I think it's probably worth it. Let's do it. Okay, so now I'm protected. Do I want to fire this barrage? I think I do. Didn't do enough damage to shred. All right, so now the missile hits me, but not enough to take my shields down. And my shields zeroed out because that is a detail of how those shields work. Okay, neither of these is going to hit me next turn, so these shield pulses, I'm not going to use them. Yeah, and her ability, unfortunately, expires, so I completely wasted it, which is garbage. This one will give me an additional attack card. So let's do that. So we did ion damage, which I think delayed the missile, and it gave me a new card, which is opening shot. So now I've got... Ooh, this is the right time to use Ordnance Surge, because that'll end me up with a total of 5 Ordnance, which I can spend all in one turn. Because Ordnance Surge, it gives you 4 and then takes all of it away. So you want to use it at a time when you're going to use all of it. So opening shot this time, against the enemy hull, it does shred. And then that means this goes better. And that did 5 damage, which added to the shred. Okay, we know how this works now. So, doesn't do anything except for raise his own shields. But now he's fixed covering fire, so that is going to hit me next turn. But I've got an ion dart, which is going to take out his entire shield. Is that what I want? I think it's what I want. So yeah, and it's free. So shield's down. I can hit him with this, and I do at least 5 damage, which means it shreds, which is good. And I've got light barrage here, which she can make free. So we'll hit him again. I'll put up a shield pulse. Now, only about half the time will this shield pulse completely defend against covering fire. But we'll see if that's enough. Because I don't want to waste the second one, because I also might need it to mitigate that star flare. They fire. They did get through. The star flare's in the air. It's in space. Okay, so now I've got Ion Spear again, which means I can destroy one of his attacks. So I'm going to do that, definitely. I'm going to put up a shield pulse to defend against the missile, though it won't defend against it entirely. I've got a couple of nice hits for next turn, but let's see here. I think I'm not going to need mass that much, so I'm going to reduce my mass and raise my ordnance so that I can do more next turn. So that does 2 damage to my hull. And now... Ooh, but... Oh, so I rolled minimum flak damage, apparently, and so that means that my next flak attack is cheaper. So, all of these are going to get more expensive as soon as I fire one. So I got to remember that. So, one of these will be 2, but the next one will be 3, and that's going to equal 5. So, how much damage will he do? 6 to 7, 5 to 5. Okay, I can probably take him out this turn, right? 4, and then... Oh, wait. Why are the costs still low? Was that... That's odd. There we go, they just went back up. Maybe I had 2 stacks of that. Anyway, they're dead. Let's add a card. Honed Shot. 3 to 8 damage, shredding 4. Cost reduced by 1 for each level of shred? Okay, that seems fun. What's Shatter? You break the enemy shield with an ion attack. All attacks deal +1 damage for the rest of the turn. I do that fairly often. Conservation, gain 1 for every 2 ordnance that's shared. I haven't been running out of energy that much, though. So, I like Honed Shot. So basically, this thing gets awesomer, or at least cheaper, the more shredding I do. Plus, it also is an extra powerful shredder itself. So let's go with that. However, the more attack cards I get, that means the more often they'll show up, and the less often defensive or support cards will show up. So I gotta be careful. You want to make sure that you're not, like, over-indexing on one of these things to the expense of the others. Okay, so let's go to this Starkin waypoint. They don't like me very much. The ship's infrared sensors detect a large heat spike not too far from the current position, possibly from a recent battle or a reactor malfunction. The coordinates have been added to the map, so there's something over here. I've only got 3 fuel, and I really wanted to go to see this space station. So I think I'm not going over here. Okay, but we've got our elite combat to deal with. Let's do that. You come across an advanced combat vessel. Its mission to enforce Starkin law. Okay, this is the same as the other Starkin combat vessel. The variety of missions that you can run into out there in the world, it feels a little bit low sometimes. I've been replaying FTL lately, and I have gotten, like, one time I think I got the same event 3 times in the same campaign, in the same run. And so it's not unheard of for that to be the case in a game like this. It does feel a little bit low. Like I am getting them repeating more often in this game than I do in FTL. However, I should point out this game is in early access. So that kind of content variety is the kind of thing that is usually, especially in a game like this where, you know, it's mostly just text that's making the things different. You know, that's the kind of thing that could easily be amped up before the official release. So I'm not worried. I'm not too worried about the fact that we've gotten this event twice in the same campaign. I think we got another one too. Like there was like the pirate enlisting you and attacking somebody. That was also the same twice. Okay, what do? You fire lasers every turn. You fire graviton missiles every turn. Destroy up to 6 mass. Oh, so if I have mass in my repository, this missile will destroy it and do damage to me for all the mass that it finds. That's very annoying. So I think I should try to run on very little mass if I can. Let's see here. What are my other options? So combined arms. So this does ion damage. You could slow down one of its initial attacks. And it'll draw another attack card. That seems worth doing.
Enemies ionized.
Okay, so their laser pulse isn't happening. So I don't need to worry about damage next turn. I think I'm going to do quiver, mostly just to get rid of my mass. And then I'll do a light barrage. All right, end turn. Okay, so now the graviton missile is inbound. So I definitely want to have no mass. If I'm understanding this correctly, which, you know, I have had trouble sometimes understanding things, but I think that I want to have no mass in my like repository when it hits. So luckily I've got this twin barrel. Oh, good, and I did actually shred. So I've got a twin barrel that will take the rest of my mass. They're also gonna hit me with a laser pulse. It's only 4 damage, and I don't think it's worth it for my flash shields. They're gonna reload tubes. Okay, so they can only fire a missile once every whatever. I could use an ion spear to, yeah, that'll break the shield, and I can disable the laser pulse with this. That won't do them any damage though, but you know, I'm gonna have trouble doing damage to them anyway with their shields up. So yeah, so let's aim that at the laser pulse.
Enemy shields down.
We've disabled their laser pulse, and oh crap. Okay, I need to use cheap shot so that I can fire twin barrel, because I forgot it has an ordnance cost. So I'll fire twin barrel. Ooh, I did 2 shred? How did I do 2 shred? Did I already have shred somehow? Oh no, twin barrel fires twice. Does it fire twice? No, that can't be right. I'm not sure why it did 2 shred. But maybe it did, maybe there was already a shred there for some reason. I didn't think I'd... You know what? I'm not going to debate about it. I'm just going to accept what happens. It's great. So the graviton missile should hit me, but should do no damage because I have no mass. Yes. Okay, cool. So laser pulse is still going to be down for 1. They're firing another graviton missile. So if I fire twin barrel, that'll be keeping my mass down. I could also, though... Well, yeah. Opening shot... only really applies shred if there isn't any already. So, yeah, not really that worth it. However, this would be an efficient use of my... I'm not going to try to... Why am I being efficient? That's silly. Let's do that. Okay. I think we're all right. So, incoming graviton missile. Oh, crap. This was a predictable thing. I should have gotten better. I knew that I was only going to have the ability to spend 1 mass this turn. I should have reduced the amount of mass that I was generating. Well, okay, opening shot's not going to do a whole lot. Combined arms. Okay, I want to do combined arms because that's going to take their shields down.
Enemy shields down.
And I can use Ion Spear. Oh yeah, I've got her back. So yeah, I could use Ion Spear to again disable the laser pulse. And then I can use her special ability to fire. I'm going to fire opening shot to use at least a sum of my mass. And I think that's it. So now the Grafton's going to hit me and do 1 damage because I had 1 mass in my repository. And now I've got a bunch of shields, I guess. Oh, interesting. So this reduces the cost of my flak attacks when I do minimum damage. It just occurred to me, if my shred is so high that all of my flak cannons are doing maximum damage exclusively, that means they're also doing minimum damage. So I could really start chaining this together. That is fascinating. Okay, so I can only fire 1 of these this turn. But yeah, I'm going to produce no mass this time just because I've got no mass to spend. That's going to give me 2 heat, but nothing, they don't do anything that messes with my heat, so I'm fine. Ooh, Gamma Missile. What's this? Oh, they're going to be trying to destroy my ordnance instead. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Well, let's shield pulse to block that laser, and then I can fire 1 light barrage. So let's just do that. And I think we're done. So laser pulse hits the shields. Gamma's coming in. Okay, so now I want to try to spend exactly enough to get rid of all of this. Oh no! I'm going to use Ordnance Surge. The reason I'm going to use Ordnance Surge, even though it's kind of wasteful, is it's going to zero out my ordnance at the end. So no matter what I do, I'll be fine. Here's Honed Shot. It's extra cheap because I've hit them with so much shred. But I want to do hull damage with this. So I'm going to hit him with this first to get the shields low, and then I'm going to hit them with Honed Shot because it does more damage and it applies shred more easily. And now I'll do opening shot just because I can. And so now Ordnance Surge should lose me all of this. So it's just a laser pulse that's going to hit me. The Gamma Missile's not going to do any damage. So I'm going to put on a shield pulse to block the laser pulse, and then we're good. Okay, all went according to plan. They've only got 10 left. I can't do Flak Barrage because I turned all of this stuff off, so we'll save that for next turn, but... Oh, they're about to do a heavy pulse. Okay, we need to take these guys down. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of ion attacks. Not a lot of regular attacks. Well, let's fire this regular attack at least. Oh, and we got a light... Ooh! This is going to do it. Because that one draws a card, and I can afford to fire this one, this is going to do 5 damage. Nice. Well done, ship. Good job. Contingency module. It's for the shield. Gain 3 shield if you end your turn with an empty card hand. Trigger twice if unshielded. Oh, neat. Okay, cool. And then we'll add a card. We'll get a regular old barrier. That wouldn't be bad. We could also... Ooh, mass surge. I usually have a lot of mass. Yeah, I think... Let's grab a more classic barrier shield. I think that's the better move there. I didn't even look at the offensive stuff because I know I've been grabbing too much offensive stuff. Okay, so we completed that combat log mission. We did the 2 elite combats. So this guy is going to send me 150 credits. Judging by the time between the data transfer and the incoming message, the data broker's ship should be within scanner range, but our sensors are not picking anything up. So one thing I do like about this game, by the way, is I get the sense that they think about space the way that I do. They think about, things like like mass and energy and, you know, ships, like, I don't know, just it doesn't feel quite, it feels like just the flavor of the text, and I have a hard time explaining it. Like, I feel like they're thinking more rationally about what the ships are capable of doing than you typically get from, like, space opera style video games. And it's something subtle in the way that they frame their writing. I feel like these people read The Expanse, and that makes me happy because I also read The Expanse, and it makes me feel like we're on the same wavelength. Escape pod? I only have 3 fuel. I would love to find out what this escape pod is about, but I wanted to see this place, and I can't do both. Unless, wait, this is a space station that's neutral. Maybe I can buy fuel here. Okay, because I've never been to an escape pod before and I want to know what they do, I'm going to take a flying leap and guess that at the space station I can replenish my fuel. So let's hit the escape pod. Yep, let's pick it up and inspect it in the airlock. Your crew carefully scan the pod and open the airlock. A middle-aged man comes out with his arms raised, scans his surroundings, and then cracks a big smile. Greetings, Captain. Looks like I owe you my life. The recycler system in that pod was almost out of power. Name's Wolf. Used to be a captain myself until recently. There was a mutiny on my ship. Pirates can get real antsy when times are lean. My XO took advantage of that to turn the crew against me. I can help you get through this sector. Let me join your crew. I can call in a few favors if we're ever outgunned. Okay, so now we can have a look. Here, okay, so it automatically dropped him the coil gun. And by the way, did you notice? Not a single coil gun card came up during that last fight. So I can have a coil gun, but it doesn't do anything unless I put a person on them. So now he's here, and he can call in a support strike of missiles if he wants to, but it's very expensive. But that's good to know. But yeah, so now we'll have the coil gun. And the contingency module, let's install that on the basic shield. So now now emptying our hand is a way to get a shield boost. So that's good to remember. All right. So now we're at the escape pod. Let's start heading this way because I wanted to see that space station. All right. So that's a free roamer station. They're neutral with us. Turn back, Captain. We will not allow any pirates on our station. This sector's been through a lot lately. We don't need any more trouble. What do you want to do? Avoid it or try to intimidate them? You know what? I've got another... I don't need to be a jerk pirate. I've got another space station down the line. But now we're out of fuel. So let's dock with the station. Let's buy 1 fuel. Okay, that worked. Let's have the crew unwind, have more morale, and let's enter the hangar. See what else they've got for us here. So what's Alpha Strike? Your first attack with this weapon in the first turn of combat doesn't cost any resources. Okay. Infrared emitter, it's for lasers. I don't have a laser. Defense protocol, I've already got my shield generator doing something. Supply cache, add 2 of each resource at the start of combat. That's not too bad. I like that. It's only 120. Yeah, let's grab that. So now we'll be starting with more. Let's repair. And now we don't have enough to buy anything else. So I think we're good. We're good. We're done. Here we go. I think we just were about to go right at that astronaut. Okay, depart the station. We're near the end. So now we decide, do we want to do an elite combat first or a nice simple combat? You know what? We're about to face the boss. Let's do a nice simple combat. Enemy has fire support from other ships. Oh, crap. Okay, maybe this won't be as simple as I thought. Okay, so this guy, he's going to hit me with an opening shot and a flak barrage in the same turn. But he doesn't have any shields. But that means that my ion stuff is not as useful. Okay. What are my options here? He's going to be doing 5 to 11 damage. Now, I could do ion damage to him, which might take one of those down. In fact, I just should do that. Oh, of course. It's his support that takes it. Fine. What's safety override? That's on the railgun. Deal 6 damage and sustain 3 heat. Do I assume I sustain 3 heat? Let's see what happens. Yes, I sustain 3 heat. So, cool. So So the barrier, that'll give me 6. So it's going to be 5 to 11. So I kind of...
Shields up, Captain.
Oh, that's all I can afford to do anyway. So I could get 3 more shields, actually, if I just discard all of these cards. Do I want to do that? That'll give me 9. But... And deplete means remove from battle once played. I assume that means if I right-click it, it's got a cooldown. So I think that means if I right-click it, it'll come back in 3 turns. Let's actually do this. Let's empty our hand and see if my understanding of our shield ability works. So gain 3 shield if you end your turn with an empty card hand. Trigger twice if unshielded. So it would basically go up to the 6 it's at now if I had no shields. Because I have shields, it should go up to 9. Yes. Okay. There's a decent chance of this defending me completely. Yes, it did. Okay, that was cool. So now what? Get an EM round. If I use it to destroy equipment, I'll also disable another random piece of equipment. That's awesome. Unfortunately, I don't have enough energy to fire this. I got way too much mass. Let's definitely use quiver. Get rid of some of that mass. And then let's go opening shot. Get some shred on there. And then hone shot or twin barrel? This one does more damage. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, and safety override. This is precision and... Oh, we can take down their flak barrage.
Enemy equipment destroyed.
Okay, so I am going to take some damage from them, but I damaged the flak barrage. So, okay, we are good now. However, I overheated. I forgot why I overheated, but I overheated. So I'm taking damage from my own overheating. So let's be careful with that. Okay, so they're hitting me with a light barrage. I could ion spear them if they had shields. These guys don't have any shields, so things like ion spear, they're not going to be as good. So if I destroy equipment with this, yeah, I disable even more equipment. So maybe I want to save this for a future round and like just try to do some more damage to light barrage here. Yeah. Do I want another light barrage card in my hand? Maybe. Okay, so that took this down to 6. So, oh wait, actually, I can use an EM round now. That's right, I can't raise my shields, but I've got her ability, which reduces the ordnance cost, so I can take that out. And now it also disables their take aim ability, which raises their damage. So they're dead in the water. All right. So now I just wish I had more ordnance now. I'm kind of... Her ability to boost it, to reduce the costs is gone. So which of these do I want to do? Let's do one that doesn't automatically draw another card. Getting real close here. Oh! I forgot. They've got friends off screen who can shoot at me. I'm betting that that was something that was telegraphed and I missed it. However, this is going to do enough damage to take them down. Okay. That could have gone way worse. Alright. So we've got no more options on the shield. I feel like at some point I should grab something for my support section down there. I really liked that EM round, though. That was really disabling. Ion Javelin. Double damage if you're unshielded. I am often unshielded. Yeah, what's Volatile Barrage? 0 to 8. Okay. unload lots of damage, but I had to play 3 other flak attacks the same turn in order to use it. Nah. I mean, I would just need to have a lot more, much more of an upgraded reactor for that to make any sense to me. So I think I'm going to go with Ion Javelin. Okay, we're right here up against the end. Let's, before we take on this final boss, let's raise our reactor level. Oh, you didn't. I'm blocking what I was doing, but I just raised the power of my reactor and devoted it to ordnance. So I'll be charging up significantly more fighting power, which is good because this is going to be a tough fight. As your ship heads towards the Breachway corridor leading out of the system, its sensors pick up a large fleet of unregistered ships forming in the asteroid belt and heading towards the blockade. Heavy fighting appears to be imminent, Captain. It might seem risky, but we can use the chaos to slip by undetected. It's not like we're left with too many choices by the looks of it. Suddenly, the approaching fleet launches a massive coordinated attack, wiping out half the defending blockade force. Most of the ships are engaged in fighting as you approach, but a massive retrofitted industrial ship is breaking off its course and headed to intercept your ship. Ooh, deadweight Captain. We can't let anyone leave before the big event. Our sources say there's an incoming supply convoy carrying equipment and materials with a fortune. Help us take care of the escort ships, and we'll grant you safe passage out of the system along with a share of the plunder. What do you say? Okay, so I think... does this mean it's an alternate version of the boss battle, but the Starkin will hate me forever? Absolutely. I knew I could count on you. You'll be part of our welcoming committee then. I'll ensure our ships send you their assistance when the time comes. Okay, so I think that I've now got another backup option. So 75 hull on this guy. Let's keep an eye on how much we use our command points because we might want this missile strike, which costs 8 at some point. He's going to raise his shield, which is 12, and it sustains. That's crazy. He's not going to fire immediately, but in a couple of turns, he's going to do a bunch of damage. And he's got beam calibration, which does extra laser damage. And then it becomes permanent. Okay, so basically, they turn this on, and it lasts for 3 turns with +1 laser damage. If they do enough laser damage to me during that time, it becomes permanent. Cool. Let's try to avoid that happening. All right, well, I've got a lot of stuff that I can do right now. I don't need my shield because nothing's actually going to hit me this turn. I'm going to fire up Quiver, though. So anytime the enemy shield at the end of my turn, I get an ion dart. I don't need the Ordnance Surge because I've got actually exactly the resources I need to fire all this stuff. And both of these are precision things, but this one requires an enemy shield to be up. And this one only does anything if I actually, take down a system. So, I mean, I want to do as much damage as I can while the shields are still down. But I'm not actually...
Enemies ionized.
Yeah, I'm not actually doing as much good with these things as I'd like. Let's do some damage to that. And that's all of my resources. So his shield's up now. It's 12. Okay, so I could get up to 8 ordnance. However, I don't have... I've used the attack that does most damage to shields. So I could do my own shield pulse to defend mostly against that laser attack. In fact, I think I'll do that. And then, I mean, I could just... His shield is going to just keep lasting. So I guess I could fire a flak barrage. It doesn't make much difference which of these I do. To take down the shields a little bit, and then my ion dart will help next time. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I think I'd rather waste this one than waste the other one. That did minimal damage, I think, so maybe... Yeah, my other stuff got less expensive. Okay. I think that's what I can do this turn. I mean, I guess I could fire the rest of these if I did an ordnance surge. And then I'd have an open hand for future stuff. However, this would do up to 7 damage. This would do 6 damage. That would take the shields all the way down. I just don't think there's much value in that. So I'm gonna... Because having his shields be up means I get an ion dart.
Missile launched.
For free. Oh, a missile. Oh, my friends are launching missiles at him. So I want to take his shield down. So this will do 8 ion damage, which isn't quite enough. But then the ion dart will do more. Okay, and so now this might be the right time for the ordnance surge. Well, no, the EM round, I would need energy for that, and I don't have it. So we can do... Let's do a flak barrage, which gave him some shred, and then we can cheapen the light barrage. He's about to raise his shields again, and so I want to do as much damage to him while I can. I think we're good. Okay. So now...
Enemy shields down.
Okay, so the incoming missile from my friends took his shields down, so I'm not worried about his shield. I can do a bunch of ion damage to him with this ion javelin. However... So he's going to do 5 damage to me. I could put up a barrier to stop it. Or I could do the ion javelin thing. I think this is more solid. And I could save this for when his shields are up. Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of inclined to do a shield pulse. Just because it's cheap. And I can keep sort of building up my options. And yeah, and I'm gonna rejigger my energy a bit because I think I've built up enough mass. I need to get more energy. Okay, so luckily because I did like ion damage to these guys, it used to be that their lasers were in sync with each other, doing big amounts of damage in the same turn. But now they're offset from each other, and I think that's good. I think that kind of helps me. Okay, so now I can do flash shields if I want to. But they're not doing enough damage to me. I think barriers would be better. And I can afford to do that. If I do that, though, I can't do the EM round. That's okay. Nothing is vulnerable to it. Oh, the ion javelin does more damage if I'm unshielded, so I want to fire this first. So let's do that first.
Enemy shields down.
Take his shields down. And then I'll put up my barrier. And now I can fire a light barrage at him. Okay, it got him down to 2/3 of his health. And I'm wondering... No, I'll worry about that later. Oh, wait, so he's not going to put up a shield again for... Actually, if I think I need it, I think this is a good time to use his ability. So I've just launched 3 Firefly missiles to do 4 damage each, and he's not going to have a shield up next turn. So next turn when they hit, he's going to take the full brunt. Okay, so now his laser pulse is going to... There we go. There go the missiles. And I think... Oh, there's another one from my friends. All right. So now laser pulse is going to hit me. But... Okay, this will make me sustain 3 heat. So this will do 6 damage. And then this will do 6 damage. And if I destroy something with both of them together, and I can do that this turn, then another thing will get disabled. And I can do that with the paired pulse. So even though the paired pulse is not the one that's threatening me right now, Wait a minute. Oh, crap. I miscalculated the energy. I'm wrong. I can't fire both of them this round. Dang it. Okay, fine. Whatever. Should teach me to do bad math. Well, at least I'll do as much damage to this guy as I possibly can. Here, let's grab some more of you. Look at that. Oh, we're way down on the on the damage now. And, oh, hey, we did enough random damage that we did actually take out the paired pulse. So cool. So we're going to get hit by this laser pulse, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Enemy shields down.
And then the missile takes down the shields. And so now these things might get back in sync with each other. But that's okay, because I think we're getting real close to taking this guy down. So we got Honed Shot, which is a fair amount of damage. It'd be better... Oh, no, we do have a bunch of Shred. So, let's see. I don't want to miscalculate again. He's not going to fire at me this turn. Combined Arms will disable his stuff more. An EM round could take multiple systems out and do a fair amount of damage. I'm going to do this. So let's take out multiple systems. And now I've got 2 ordnance left. That means I can either do Combined Arms, which is ion damage. Oh, wait, no. I don't have 2 left. I got 6 left. So we'll do Opening Shot. We'll do Honed Shot. Yes! Honed Shot is very random, so it could have failed to do that, but it succeeded. So we're going to add a card. We got Volatile Barrage, Flak Barrage. We've already seen those before. Ionized Round, deals 6 damage. Equipment damage, ignores shields. Oh, so I can fire straight through a shield and do system damage. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, Energy Surge. Get a bunch of extra energy. There's a couple times when I would have needed that. I want to do that. I don't have enough support cards anyway. I don't think I've got room for a missile rack. Oh. We've got a new AI core. So, if we had not found that escape pod, this AI core could replace a person. It wouldn't give us a new morale ability, new command ability, but it would give us the extra card slot and the ability to use another weapon. All right, fun little diversion, Cap. Reminds me of my younger days. Now let's get back to our main objective and hope we don't need that bridge we just burned with the Starkin. Yeah. It'll be fine. Captain, we're entering the EOS system. 2 fuel harvested while transiting the Breachway corridor. Your ship picks up 2 distress calls in the sector. And that is something we will need to deal with later on, because this has been an 1.5-hour episode. I usually keep these to an hour, but I wanted to show an entire sort of phase of the game this episode. So let me know if you'd like to see another one. And I guess, yeah, so leave a comment or something like that if you want to see more. But that is Breachway. I really, really like it. I mean, I'm a big fan of deck builders, big fan of FTL, and this is combining them both in a really cool and innovative new way.